Good morning, guys. Now we came up with our new video. That is, we are making a series of videos to make sure you prepare well for your MD pathology theory exams. So here we are. Hardly some 3 to 4 months left. All of you are worried, like from where to start, how to start, what to start. We have so many things to start with. We have a general pathology to cytology, systemic pathology, clinical pathology, blood banking of what I'm supposed to start with, from where I should start, right? And you have so limited time, that is hardly 3 to 4 months. When I'm going to finish my first reading, when I'm going to do my revision, this is all the questions in your head, right? So let's start. So this video will help you. At the end of this video, you will be clear how to go about your exams, and you will be with a strategy and a plan to what to focus and how to approach. Let's start. So first, what is how we gonna start our preparation? Point number one, collect all the 5 to 10 years question papers. Question papers of your university, of your concerned university and your concerned state. Okay. Then after collecting that, what you're going to do is you will get one question bank, right? So now divide this question bank into 3 parts. Okay. So the part 1 will be the direct questions. What do you mean by direct questions? The direct questions are those whose answers are readily available. They are readily available to you in your standard books. It can be your Robbins, it can be your Sternberg, or it can be your Ackerman, or it will be your WHO. So no need to search much. Just for example, there was a question asked on some tumor. Let's think hepatocellular carcinoma. No need to search, right? Directly open the Sternberg, Ackerman or WHO, whatever. Read the answer, finish it off. Etiopathogenesis, refer Robbins. That's it. So there are the direct questions. Then next, there are in-between questions. What do you mean by those? These questions are not directly available in your textbooks. But in your college, somebody would have done some seminar. So you have the ready-made PPT available for it, or some article which is given so beautifully about it. So you can read directly from the article, just underline the important points enough. Or some PPT done by your other friends who are in some other college or somewhere you have the PPT. So these are also the ready-made, but you have to little bit search and make an effort. That's it. Now coming to the third category, which is to make answer category. Okay, that means, for example, a topic like toll-like receptor. It's not available anywhere, right? So you have to make some answer for this by referring certain books and articles. Or you have some pediatric gliomas, which is not available. You have to search few articles, make a notes, right? So that's the thing. So you have to divide all your questions in a 3 categories. Got it? So my advice is what? Step number 1, what you'll do first, collect the question and papers of last 5 to 10 years of your university or your state. Then arrange them in chapter wise. Arrange them what? Chapter wise. Then divide the questions into 3 categories, which are direct ones, so which are available directly in your Robbins, Ackerman, whatever books, or in between means second category, which already has seminar has been done in your college, so you have the PPT available. And third one is to make a notes, which you have no idea about such questions. So you have to refer certain articles and make the notes. Got it? So you have to divide each chapter into 3 questions like this. Then done. Then after finishing a chapter, now you have a list. So you are supposed to keep a book. Keep a book. You have to make one book, some 200 pages, a long notebook. Okay. Then make it into 4 equal parts. Make it into 4 equal parts and make one part as a paper 1, one as a paper 2, and one as a paper 3, and one as a paper 4. And in the paper 1, again you make it as a chapter wise. For example, let's think paper 1 is general path, right? Let's assume. So you put a chapter 1 till chapter 9 you will go, till 10. Then you put any recent updates also 1. So in the each page you will write chapter 1 to 10 and leave some 2 pages in between and keep on writing the questions which were asked in your last 5 to 10 years university paper. Got it? Like that you keep on writing them. Then later you have to divide the questions in the each chapter into 3 categories as I described you earlier, right? Then based on that you will get an idea how many questions already answers are available with you and how many you have to find the answers. Understood? Find the answers. So like that you have to make sure you have answers for all the chapters. Got it? Like that you're gonna make for your all the 4 papers and arrange accordingly. So how we gonna arrange them? There are certain articles, right? Few people keeps articles with them. So how you gonna arrange those articles? See, I'll show you. In my laptop, I'll create one folder called as theory exam papers. Then I'll put a folder like a paper 1 and where again I'll put a chapter 1. Like that you have to keep on making the folders. So why this is important is before the exam, you hardly gets a 1 day time, right? Before each exam paper. So if you keep everything together in the folder, it's easy for you to recollect and revise before the exam where hardly you will get 8 to 10 hours time before gap between the each paper, right? So that's why from now onwards, I believe in organization. So you have to organize all your study materials in a proper folder. Okay. Or you can keep it in your tab or keep it in your laptop or in your mobile, right? That's the thing. So first, collect all the 5 to 10 years question papers, arrange them in chapter wise and write out in the book. Then divide them into 3 categories, which is direct questions and which PPTs are available online, offline or with your friends. And third one, which no material is available. So you have to refer multiple articles and make the notes. Okay. Now we have hardly 3 to 4 months left, right? So what to focus? What to focus on? How to focus on? So this is a very individualized question because each one of us will be good at something. Each one of us are weak at something. So I don't believe that you have to follow somebody. It's your own individualized plan. For example, let's take histopath. If you had a proper histopath postings, obviously you would have covered 80% of exam going slides in your day-to-day life. Correct? But in my experience, it's a general path we never study, right? So my suggestion is first finish it off with general path because general path will form a basics for your systemic path as well. And we never study a general path, right? As such, we would have studied only in our second year of MBBS. So my advice is for you to first start with general path. As I told you, collect the questions of 5 to 10 years, then segregate them chapter wise and put it in 3 categories and make sure you are available with all the material you need it. Then next, I feel next you should be focusing on cytology part. So remember what lots of students do mistake is they consider cytology as a separate subject. No, you should always study cytology with your histopath. So whenever you are studying a histopath topic, let's think a liver. So you should say same day or the same time you should finish your cytology of liver. So that will help you in understand a topic in a better way. Got it? Then coming to your hematology, I believe hematology everybody does day-to-day life. So what you have to be focusing on hematology is the criterias. Criterias and the neoplastic topics you have to focus on more. Okay. Then other topics like blood banking, clinical pathology, forensic, all those things also you need to focus. So how you going to decide what to read when? First, it's a individualized because you have to focus what is your weak point. You have to identify among all these papers which you are weak, which you have not read. Okay, so now you have to divide your entire syllabus into 3 groups. One, which you read it and you are confident about it. You are confident, like you know something. If I ask you about that particular topic, you know, I'm gonna answer this, something. So that comes in your group 1. Group 2 is you have read it, but you are not sure. You are not remembering it properly. Group 3 is you don't know anything. If this question comes from this group, you're gonna leave it. It will be a bouncer for you. So my advice is first focus on this. Why? Why you have to focus on this group 3? Because see, in exams to pass, we need to attempt all the questions. Correct? As a post-graduation theory exams, nobody gonna give you 10 out of 10 marks. Even if you write the best of your knowledge and skill, you can get 8 out of 10, right? So my sincere advice is to attempt all the questions, never leave anything. So make sure you don't, your maximum of the syllabus doesn't fall in this group 3, where you don't know anything about it. And if the question is asked, you're going to leave it. Make sure at least you fall in the group 2. At least you know few things. So you can write something if something is asked about it. Okay. So that, then take a paper, make a list of each paper, like in paper 1. Let's start. Paper 1, let's think a general path. So we'll make a list like, okay, I have never read Robbins' last 3 chapters, that is 10, 9 and 8. So at least let me finish this first because everybody reads neoplasia and all. Then you go for paper 2 where you have hemat. So make a list of the topics or the chapters which fall under group 3. Like that you make, or make same list of questions in your systemic path, the system which you have never read, like nerve, peripheral nerve, muscle, which you have never read. So that things try to finish it off within a 10 to 15 days by end of Jan, right? Then you will be like, yeah, then you will be confident, like almost all topics I know little bit. Then focus on your group 2. Then focus on your group 2. Okay. Then focus on your group 2, which is like, you know, half but not sure. You need a revision. You need to understand little more. Then focus on the group 2 of the syllabus. Okay. At the end, go for your group 1 topics. So you have to make a list of your entire syllabus from paper 1 to paper 4 and put them in the 3 groups. And first go for the group 3 things which you don't know anything. If such questions are asked, it's going to be a bouncer for you. Okay. And now coming to our paper. How we should prepare for our paper. Remember, it's like you have worked 3 years of your life so hard, and this 3 hours gonna define your fate of this hard work of your 3 years, right? So you can't take it lightly. Whatever you do in these 3 hours gonna reflect your 3 years ka hard work. So we have to have a strategy. What strategy you are planning? So we have 3 hours. Let's think I am talking about RGHS. So I am from Karnataka. So basically I'll talk about my state ka exam pattern. So we have 10 questions. Okay, 10 into 10 for 100 marks. So we have 3 hours of time. So what I used to do is, in first 1 hour, I used to write 3 questions. Because it's the beginning of the paper. So once you see the paper, you will be apprehensive and anxious. So I usually take 20 minutes per question in the first 1 hour. Now coming to the second hour, I used to write 4 questions. that is some 15 minutes per question. Then in the third hour, again, you will be in that tension. So I prefer writing 3 questions. Okay, I prefer writing 3 questions. That is 20 minutes per question. So main strategy for your exam is time management. Okay, why I'm talking about this, you have to practice it from now onwards. Got it? Nothing gonna come suddenly on the day of your exam. You have to practice your writing speed, because the last exam which you have written was your final year of your MBBS, which should have been some 4-5 years back, right? So make sure you make your time management before itself. Keep in your mind accordingly. You practice daily, at least 20 minutes daily for writing your exams. Okay. So time management is very important. And next, what should be a strategy or approach when you see your question paper? Let's think I got my theory question paper. First, I got some 10 questions like this. Okay. Remember, always any examiner will set your paper to pass you. Nobody sets a paper thinking I want maximum people to fail, right? So they set a question paper in such a way that 5 to 7 questions will be core questions. That means which were repeated from your last 5 to 10 years university question papers. And please let me clarify you. 5 to 10 years question paper means the topic will be same. For example, they would have asked about RCC last year, renal cell carcinoma. Don't expect they'll ask again RCC. The question will not be same. The topic will be same. That you have to understand. Last 5 to 10 years question paper means it's not the same question. It will be the topic or it will be the concept which will be repeated, not the question. Okay. Please keep that in your mind when you are reading, going through your previous 5 to 10 years question papers. So last year it was RCC, right? Renal cell carcinoma. So this year you might expect IHC of renal cell carcinoma, or you might expect hereditary RCC syndromes, or you might expect new variants or emerging entities of RCC. So you understood? So you have to think in that broad way and prepare. And in that question paper, almost 5 to 10 will be the same topic, same concepts, only the question would have been modified. Got it? So you have to understand that. Then, how you gonna do? Remember, now as I told you, in the first hour, I am supposed to write 3 questions, 20 minutes for each question, right? What if you overshooted your time? Leave that question there. Abort that question in between, because remember, how much ever you write, maximum you can get it 8 marks out of 10. For that extra 1 mark, you cannot spoil your next question, right? So what I used to do is I used to start writing my answer. As soon as the time gets over, I used to leave that answer there and I used to start the second one. And I should make sure in the last 5 to 10 minutes, if I had any time left, I used to come back to the question and fill it up. Understood? And next, as soon as you get a question paper, what you should do? What you should do? Don't just starts writing. First, see the question number 1. Give a 30 seconds to yourself. Like, what all the side headings? I'm gonna write this. Okay? What all the side headings? I'm gonna write this. For example, I'm talking in general, like a definition, etiology, a mechanism, any gross findings, microscopy, okay, IHC markers, or any diagnostic genetics, or differentials, or prognosis. See, this should be my side headings if I saw a question called RCC. Got it? And I'll add a variance also here. So you, as soon as you get a question paper and you see a question, you should not start blindly writing. You should give a 30-second time to your brain to think what all the side headings you want to keep. See, as an examiner, I am correcting your paper. So I see this is the first side heading. Oh, this fellow knows it's a malignant epithelial tumor arising from the renal tubule. Yeah, I'll give him 1 mark for it. Okay, etiology, he told VHL. Very good. Then you explained about that loss of chromosome 3 and hypoxia induced factor. Very good. I'll give him 1 more mark. Gross, he told me the cut section is golden yellow. Very impressive. Then he told all the variants. I'll give 1 more mark. IHC, wow, I'll give 1 more mark. Genetics, 1 more mark. Differential diagnosis, 1 more mark. Prognosis, 1 more mark. So at finally, you end up getting 8.5 to 9 marks. It's a decent score, right? And make sure you write your answer to the point because you have a limited time. Remember, you have a limited time. In the limited time, you have to give the maximum information to the examiner in a presentable way. Correct? Or instead of writing like this, you are writing paragraphs. Like this one paragraph, you have written one story. I don't have a patience to search where is the important points here. Right? Because I have to correct some 30 to 40 question papers a day. I can't spend 1 hour for you. Hardly they correct your paper for 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes they take. So make sure you give them the adequate or to the point information in a presentable way. Got it? And if you want, you can put a 1 more called as recent updates. And you can add few more points. It's give you much more impressive impression for an examiner to correct your paper. Got it? So writing a theory exam is definitely a skill, but make sure if you all practice, definitely you can also achieve it, right? That you can achieve only by having a proper strategy. You need to have a strategy, a goal, and consistent hard work. Remember, it's the consistency and the hard work which matters a lot. Understood? And no matter your previous IQ levels, skills, your NEET PG rank, your percentage in MBBS doesn't matter. What matters is what you do today. What you do today and how much you are working towards your goal. Okay, that's what's matter. So let's finish it off what all we discussed today. So the main aim of this video was to make you understand how to start preparing for your MD theory exams and from where to start it. First and foremost is collect 3 to 5 years question papers, arrange them in a chapter wise, right? Okay, arrange them in the chapter wise in a book and keep it. Then divide the entire syllabus into group 1, group 2 and group 3. Group 3 is the bouncer which you don't have any idea about those topics. So this group 3 you have to divide again into paper 1, paper 2, paper 3 and start reading them. Okay, and take this, arrange all the questions in a chapter wise and then divide it into 3 readily available. Seminars were done, you have to collect them from your friend or online. Other things, nothing is available, you have to make your own notes. So focus on this category. Got it? Now, this is about how you prepare and I told you how to write about and the time management also I told you. Now, easy fix, which we all like. What is this? Easy fixes. So I suggest you to follow Course Notes. Please Google it, you will get it. Course Notes. It's the wonderful book for your last minute revision. And Abhijit Das, a surgical pathology made easy, a Facebook page where he has wonderfully illustrated all the things. And next, Pranab Patwardhan. He has given everything in a flow chart way. It's awesome. And Deeksha Sikri. So these are your easy fixes for your last minute revision. Got it? And all the best for you guys. Hope I made you clear that at least how you should start preparing for your MD Path exams. And for more videos like this, please do comment and let us know what you want to know for the future. And thank you very much. And please share with your friends. Have a good day. Bye.